Hi guys, Eric here. I know it's been a while since I last posted a video. I wanted to kind of explain myself and maybe set some direction on where I'm thinking about going. A couple months ago we decided as a family to cut the cable, turned off the TVs, changed how we were viewing education and entertainment. We decided that we would start spending our time more useful purposes. We would take the kids hiking and camping. We've taken some classes. We've started some educational programs. I hate to say educational because it makes them sound boring and not enjoyable, but things like flint knapping, hiking, camping, medicinal plants. We've tried to learn as much as we can over these past couple of months, and continue to do that as well. We found that we really enjoy it. The kids enjoy it. We have a blast doing it together. They've even gotten to the point where they've gotten some of their friends involved, that type of stuff, and it's been a fun overall experience for everybody. That being said, I would like to say that I want to start reposting some videos on some of the techniques and knowledge that we've been able to pick up over these past couple of months, and some of the products that we've used, maybe some reviews on those, how to use them, if they're worth a dang, that type of stuff, maybe some tips and techniques, and just overall what our mindset is and where we're going. On that note, a couple of things to mention. I've spent a lot of time watching a lot of videos and reading a lot of stuff on the internet about people who are getting prepared for disasters. We are not the type of people that believe that the polar shift is coming, or that total economic breakdown is coming, or zombie apocalypse, or mass riots, or anything like that. I'm thinking more of a local type disturbance. For those of you that don't know me, we live near Magnolia, Texas, and a couple years ago they had the fires out here that were extremely violent, extremely fast-moving. People were literally told to get out of their house within 5 minutes. You had 5 minutes to leave your house, or you were going to die. I talked to a man at the local church. We went up there to kind of help with clothes and sheets and food and coloring books and teddy bears and stuff like that. He got out of the house with his dog and his wife. They did not get the cat. They didn't even get his wallet. He had no money, had no way to get money out of the bank, had no ID, and was really in a lot of trouble. Had a hard time even finding money to get a hotel room, put gas in his truck, anything like that. And that really was a wake-up call for me that, we don't need to be preparing for the end of civilization as we know it. We're not building a massive bunker, storing thousands and thousands of pounds of food. Some of the stuff we do goes along with that and could be used towards that purpose, and that's fine if that's what you feel like is coming and that's what you want to get prepared for. Hey, it's your prerogative. You do what you want to do. We are more in the camp that says, it could be 3 or 4 days during a hurricane. We live here near Houston. If a hurricane shuts down food delivery for a week or two, would you be able in your house? Could you survive? Could you have enough food and water to make it through there? And that's kind of what we've deemed, the biggest threat is these. If we can make it through the first month of any type of local disaster, fire, hurricane, tornado, loss of power, loss of food delivery, anything like that, then that's kind of been in our mindset. That being said, I take a modern day approach to survivalism. I don't necessarily think you need to learn how to build a shelter in the woods completely free of any man-made, supplies. That's great if you can do it. I think it's a cool skill to have, but I don't think it's necessary. Most of us can find plenty of wiring, of rope, of string, of anything in our house. In a situation, you're going to have a lot of that stuff laying around, and make use of it. Learn how to make use of it. So being able to live like a mountain man or a Native American did hundreds of years ago, that's all well and good if that's what you like to do. I don't think it's very practical for modern day survivalist, and so that's been our guiding approach. I want to, I guess, respond to a couple of people that have commented on the videos that this can get expensive if you go off the deep end and really start looking and kind of fall into the wormhole of, my God, this is, we're on the verge of collapse. There's so many different ways that society can collapse. and I've got to have a generator, I've got to have a bug out vehicle, I've got to have 1,000 acres out in the country where I can go and live my life, and got to have a fallout shelter and radiation suits and all these different things, it can really get expensive. Let me be the first to say you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Almost everybody that I know has some type of backpack. It's either an old kid's backpack from school. It can be a bag that they give away for free when you leave the grocery store. There's a lot of those things you can pick up for free. If you have a basic list, you can easily supply yourself and build on it as you go. If you feel like you need to add, better flashlights or two-way radios or more expensive gear as time goes on, that's easy to do over the years. I think the biggest thing that people get away from is they go towards buying gear instead of saying, hey, what's our plan? Let's sit down, let's write out a plan on what happens if a fire breaks out in our neighborhood and we're told to evacuate in 5 minutes. Where do we go? What do we do? Who do we contact while we're leaving? Do we call our parents? Do we call our friends and neighbors? Do we have a destination in mind? And I think that's probably the most overlooked aspect of the prepper mentality is people tend to buy a lot of gear, and they love the latest and greatest. People love new knives, new tents, new bug-out bags, new things like that, a lot of firearms. And most situations, that stuff is not needed. Most of what you need, the most important thing, is knowledge. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know what your plan is. And everybody in your group, your kids, your wife, your extended family, whoever you want to include, needs to be aware of the same things. You need to know, okay, here's what we're going to do in case of a hurricane and we lose power for 2 weeks. Okay, we're going to do step A. We're going to fill up the bathtubs with water. We're going to stay in the house if at all possible. We're going to start by collecting firewood, that type of things. And I look to do a video on that coming up here pretty soon on what I think the most crucial steps in planning out your survival situation are. What to look for, what to plan for, how to adjust those plans, that type of thing. So to wrap it up, I part of the purpose of this video was to explain my absence, but also I wanted to kind of get into a little bit of the mentality that goes into prepping. What you see on TV is not a realistic portrayal of what we need to be doing to get ready to survive any disaster. Those guys on there are playing to the lowest common denominator. I think if you want to be prepared for stuff like that, that's fine. But I think buying a bunch of gear and having the latest greatest gadget is not going to save your life any more than relying on what you have laying around the house. I think you need to learn how to use your tools, how to function without them, what can be available if you live in an apartment complex, say. What could you find that could be used as a weapon, or what could you be used to collect rainwater? Are there potted plants outside that you could dump the pots out, clean them out, seal them up, and use that to store rainwater? So I think the biggest thing you can do is learn as much as you can. Make sure that you're practicing that knowledge. So don't read a book on how to start a fire, say using a bow drill technique. That's all well and good, but until you've actually tried it and tried it and tried it and had to rely on it, say if you go camping or hiking and say, I've got to have a fire and I cannot use my fire steel, can't use my matches, can't use my lighters, can I really make this happen? Because that you want to try to simulate the stress of a natural disaster or a problem as much as you can. That being said, make sure that you're practicing your techniques. You're going out, you're using your backpack. You're going to find that you don't like the fit of your backpack. You're going to find that cast iron aluminum pot that you just had to have to cook eggs on in the morning weighs way too damn much. The only way you're going to do that is to get out there and try it. So make sure you're getting as much knowledge as you possibly can. Go out and learn, practice, and talk to as many people as you can. Figure out what you don't know. Figure out if there's something you do know that you can help other people with, and pass that knowledge on. Gather as much information and knowledge as you can. Pass on what you can. I hope to see you guys soon. I will be posting quite a few more videos. I've got some already in the works. I've got some gear I want to review. I've made some changes to our situation that I think are an upgrade and an improvement. So I want to get that stuff out to you guys, and hey, it's good to be back. We'll talk to you guys soon.